Hello, everybody. So, back in December, I received 9 of my submissions back from Collector Archive Services from the ICCC convention in April. It took them a little longer than I thought it would, and I was told that you shouldn't really submit items at a convention. You need to just send them, or if you're down in West Palm Beach, just to deliver them by hand. So I learned a valuable lesson there. I'm not much of a patient person with waiting, but uh, in all, though, at the end of the day, CAS actually did a great job with what they did, except there was 2 issues out of the 9, and I'm going to go over them. And John Rula, the action figure grader, actually warned us about one thing, and it happened to me. But we'll go over these one at a time, and the last 2 are the issues we had. So the first one is General Veers, and I had this one autographed by Julian Glover, an absolutely amazing guy, by the way. And I didn't really think that this figure would grade that well because it was an older figure, and I actually bought it inside of a store off the peg hook from a toy store. So I thought, I just wanted something with General Veers on it. So I ended up buying this and having him sign it. And if you ever get to meet this gentleman while he's on this earth, you really need to meet him and listen to his stories. He's an amazing person. And but anyway, got this autographed by him at ICCC, and as you're fixing to see, the grade ended up being a lot better than I thought it would be. It ended up being a 85 plus. Now I know these are the pictures that CAS does online before they send them to you when you scan this QT code underneath the grade. And I did that because I just really haven't had time. I've actually received a promotion at work, and I've been a little pressed for time, so I've been trying to get stuff together the best way I could. So I'm sorry that I did it this way. But an 85 plus on a figure like that. So the second one, after reading Anthony Daniels' biography, I Am C-3PO, I found out that this image here of C-3PO done by Ralph McQuarrie actually is what sold him on doing the part as C-3PO. So instead of just having a classic 3PO figure signed by him, I ended up having him sign this, and he even made a comment that's like, "Oh, I love this so much." He is really infatuated with the character. He said it gave it such a human look that you could see that it would be expressing feelings and such. And I was sort of worried about this one and the grade it would get, even though this one did come in a clamshell, and it was from Celebration 4, an exclusive. So I was really glad about that. Plus, it's part of the Ralph McQuarrie concepts. But this one ended up getting a 90, and I was thinking 80, 85, but hey, I will take 90 all day long. And also, as you can see, these are all done by, authenticated by JSA. I had these done at ICCC, and I can't remember how much it was, if it was like $20 or $30 an autograph for them to put it in the system. So another thing you got to do when you're doing autographs. This one being M. McDermott, the Emperor's Throne Room, the exclusive from Hasbro Pulse. I couldn't really think of what to get him to sign. I mean, VC 200 was already out, and I was thinking about having him sign that. And I was like, I don't know. Something about it I didn't like. So I went with this. And this is the first one that they actually graded. And it's definitely the first one they had autographed. And they did a really good job with it. I mean, I'm not an opener, so it's encapsulated and all that good stuff. I was wanting to personalize it to me because I don't plan on selling my autographs. These are for me, but he ended up just writing his name on it. And this one received a 90. I was hoping for a 95 on this because I had taken as best care of I could of it, but sometimes things just don't work out that way. But Ian McDermott, I really enjoyed him. He talked a little bit more than I thought he would. All of these people did. I was told to be prepared for him to be, not the best of people, not to meet your heroes type thing, but I fell in love with them, and it's what's really made ICCC really stand out for me. So this is the pack in with the Razor Crest. This is the Grogu with the Chrome Pram, excuse me. This was from the Razor Crest that I had bought, and I opened it up to see how the figures were. There were some people actually getting the Jawa and the Grogu miscarded on the wrong cards, and that's why I opened mine up. I was hoping I would find one like that myself. So, and there's also the remarks that some of them came in damaged or warped, and Hasbro's really good at replacing these within the first few weeks of after everybody getting these if there was an issue. However, I don't know if you end up having to send in the damaged product. You probably do, since these are extremely limited. But this one ended up doing a lot better than I thought. I was glad that it was Grogu. It got the grade. It was a 95, a 97.1 for a total, but a card of 95, a bubble of 95, and a figure of 95. So you don't get much better than that. And now I've got it graded, and it's in the collection forever, and it hopefully won't degrade in that case. So we will see. But the next one, as you can imagine, is the Jawa Elder, Off-World Jawa Elder. And I couldn't see any issues with this one, not me personally. I'm learning a little bit here and there, but there's just some things I see, and I just don't quite get how it gets the grade that it gets. Now, this one did not receive the 90 that Grogu got, or 95 that Grogu got. This one actually ended up, I believe, when we get to it, it's either 85 or 85 plus. But this one, the way it was packed in, it may have had a little warp to it, and maybe that's what they counted against it, even though they try to flatten it out for you. But sort of disappointed. I expected a 90 or 95 out of it as well, and I did not get that grade. But hey, it happens. An 85 plus, an 89.2, so almost a 90. The card was an 85, the bubble was a 90, and the figure was a 95. So there must have been some glue issues with the bubble, and maybe there was something on the card that I just didn't see. And it's just something I've got to learn. John can look at this stuff and really do a great job at figuring out exactly what you're going to get if he could look at it firsthand. And it's just amazing what he can do. So then you got Yak Face that came with the cell barge, and I was going to get Sean Crawford to sign this, and I was really a little confused as to whether he signed figures or not, so I left it in my room to get it signed. So I ended up leaving it just to have it graded and taken care of. And then I couldn't see the mark that they said was prominent at the top beside the hang tab, so I thought that we were going to be doing pretty good with this one. But it's an amazing looking figure, and the coin too. I really need that coin in the vintage Power of the Force, but hey, I'm not going to spend $900 on that, so I'll be happy with the reproduction of it. But Yak Face ended up getting, as we're fixing to see, an 85 plus, an 88.3 as a total, with a card being 85, the bubble being 85, and the figure was 90. And plus, you got to think that there was just a few, like 6,000 of these made, and they'll never be made again. So I felt that this really needed to be taken care of and graded and taken care of. So that's why I put that one into this. So now we're going back to the Kenner days with Tebow. And it wasn't the greatest card. I knew that when I sent it in. I knew there was some wear on the side of the card and everything, and But I wanted to just preserve the figure. That's what I would like to do to any of my men on cards from the Kenner days. Uh, and this was actually the first ever Kenner figure I've bought in my adulthood on card. So it was just available, and I thought it was for a good price, so I got it and sent it in, and just to take care of it. And you'll see the score was not that bad, but it wasn't that great either. It was let's see, it was a 70 something, let's say 75, with an overall score of 77.3, with the card being a 75, the blister being 80, and the figure being an 85. So a little disappointing, but hey, it's 40 years old. What do you expect? Now, the last two that are fixing to come up, there is some things that CAS messes up every once in a while, and this next one is a common one that they did. So getting to meet Ashley Eckstein was just a complete pleasure. She's an amazing person. And I mean, look at that autograph. It's just super amazing how she signs her name, and it's always the same through and through. She just seems like she never gets tired of doing it. But this is actually the TVC 2.0 re-release of Ahsoka Tano's VC 102 from TVC 1.0. And with me saying that probably gives you a little hint as to what happened here. And when we get to the tag, you're going to see where they ended up saying that it was from the 2012 or whatever, making it as if it was the original and not the reissue. And that was a little aggravating, but that could have been prevented had I went online and checked it, as John tells subscribers that you really need to check this stuff and look at it. But with it being what it is, the card got a 90, the bubble got a 90, and the figure got a 95 with a 93.3 with a score 90 plus. And that's a brand new figure. You would have thought it would have got a 95, and I went through like 4 of them before I picked that one. This one, you would think nothing's wrong with this, right? Well, that is not the case. This was the second men on card figure that I ever bought. My first ever Power of the Force figure on card. And when I sent this off, I thought it looked extremely, I thought it was in great shape. And after waiting 6 months, I finally heard, it's like, hey, your figure blister fell off the card. How do you want to proceed? They could have put the card behind the figure with stuff put in front of it, or they could have done it like this, and I didn't really know how it was going to look, if they were going to be able to put the coin in that way, looking like it was where it was originally or not. So I told them to go with this. Ended up with an 85 plus because the figure was an 85, the coin was a 90. That's a combination of the two with a score of 88.5. And it was a Taiwan figure of all things. But I was a little upset that, I don't know how, but the bubble fell off, and I didn't see any hints that the glue had come loose or anything. And I'll try to put a picture of it at the end before I send it. But as you can see here, here's the card with the loose bubble on it. I mean, this card was in good shape other than at the top right-hand corner where a price sticker was sort of removed. It wasn't a litho tear. It was just leftover residue that I could have taken off myself, but I didn't want to take the chance because that doesn't hurt the grade. And if you look at the next picture, I don't know why, but when I took this picture, I left the bubble laying on there because the bubble completely come off and it left very little evidence that there was a bubble there. So, I mean, it would have looked good behind the figure. I just didn't know if they were going to put the coin in place and all that stuff, so I just didn't worry about it. So I put this in a top loader and saving it for the collection. but I took a picture of the back of it, and it is a I'm not sure what kind of back. I don't think this is a 90. It might be a 92 back. I'm not sure, but I just thought it was in great shape, and just made me really sad that this did not survive and get graded the way I wanted it to. So, but anyway, that was my submittals, and I hope you learned something. I hope you liked what you saw, and here is the ATST driver on the card as I sent it. It's actually in a plastic sleeve because I just got back from a trip where I bought it. And that's what it looked like before I sent it off, and it was really sad that it fell off the blister, but I digress. So, lesson learned, and maybe later on we'll go over how you can package these a little safer than probably what I did. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe and hit the bell for alerts for when other videos drop. And in the future, we'll be going through all the waves of TVC, and along with that, we'll also be doing unboxings, convention materials, and other special topics. Thank you.